So, I come with good news, boys. The build survived. Blackflame Chaos Chronomancer survived, but not the Chronomancer part. There has been no changes to Incinerate, the scaling, the Blackflame, so that part is fine, okay? But we have a small problem. We have a small problem. They changed Chronomancer, and these changes are not good. Why, you may ask? Because before, we had to spend 4 points to get the Time Freeze and Temple Rift together. And what they did is they moved Temple Rift here and Time Freeze over here. And now there's Time Snap over here. So we have to spend 8 points just to get both. And you know what that means? We won't be getting any quality of life for Chronomancer. And where's the problem with that? So Temple Rift and Time Freeze. We got that with 4 points. Then we got Sands of Time. You know what this does? This does 60% increased cast speed or 60% scaled area of effect. This helped a lot while casting our SS Drain and Contagion. It was really useful for map clearing, but now since we have to spend 8 points to get Time Freeze and Temple Rift, we won't be getting this anymore. What you can do is either sacrifice Temple Rift and go for Time Freeze, or you have to sacrifice Time Freeze and get Temple Rift, which is disgusting. What is a Time Bender without Time Freeze? Okay, that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is where these nodes are. Because Time Freeze is over here, as I said, okay? They moved Time Snap over here. Nobody uses Time Snap. There's no single skill in the game with meaningful cooldown and meaningful use to utilize Time Snap at all. So, Time Freeze is locked behind Time Snap, a useless spell. Then, Temple Rift is over here, which is a 2-point skill right now, is now a 4-point skill, and it's locked behind the damage reduction node. Oh, but Jin, the damage reduction node is good. No, it's not. It's good, but it's not. Because without Temple Rift, it won't be useful at all. When you take damage, you will take a portion of the damage again later, 4 seconds later. You know what is 4 seconds later? Also, your energy shield start, okay? If you don't have Temple Rift with the damage reduction node, you will keep taking damage over and over and again, and you won't even have the energy shield recharge start, and you will just die. So it's either Temple Rift with damage reduction or Time Snap and Time Freeze to get the quality of life stuff over here. And there's also another problem. You know what that is? Inevitable Agony. They made changes to it. Great. It's not a curse anymore. That's the first problem. And the second problem is it still doesn't work with the damage over time effects. No, it only works with hit damage because it only tracks the hit damage. That's the problem. They didn't change this. So Inevitable Agony is still out of the picture. And if you're not getting Time Freeze, which will be over here, okay? If you're not getting Time Freeze, why are you using the Chronomancer for this build? The whole gimmick of the Time Freeze was keep the boss in place and blast them with Incinerate without a problem. Since we can't do that anymore without getting the most useless spell in the game, or we have to sacrifice Temple Rift for that to have the quality of life stuff, and the Temple Rift was useful for resetting our energy shield, our mana, our life, get better position. Like you could do stuff like this and get more fill for Incinerate. And you could just do this between boss phases and just use Incinerate to kill the boss again. You won't be able to do that if you don't have Temple Rift. What's the point of playing Chronomancer then? The whole gimmick was to do quality of life stuff for Incinerate and Essence Drain and Contagion, so you can have easier time playing the game. But it's gone. Chronomancer is dead. We won't be playing Chronomancer with Essence Drain, Contagion, and Incinerate. So it's not Blackflame Chaos Chronomancer anymore. It's gonna be Blackflame, Incinerate, Lich. We're gonna play Lich. Because you know what it does? It gives you extra chaos damage with Unholy Might. It's free chaos damage. The more mana you have, the more chaos damage you get. There's a jewel slot for you to just increase the stats on it. And then the enemies can just explode when you kill them. Why do I have to play Chronomancer if I can't use Time Freeze and Temple Rift earlier on in my build without sacrificing anything instead of Lich? I need somebody to explain this to me. Because I've played Chronomancer since 0.1. Okay? I've played Chronomancer since 0.1. The reason I played Chronomancer since 0.1 is Time Freeze and Temple Rift. Because they are really good skills to utilize in boss fights during mapping. Now that they are behind some useful and useless nodes, and I can't get the quality of life stuff, there's no reason for me to play Chronomancer anymore. It's dead. We'll be playing Lich. The Blackflame Chaos Chronomancer is becoming Blackflame Chaos Lich. I did do some testing with the demon form Infernalist, but the problem with that is there's so much life consumption from the demon form, okay? Then you, like, this Infernal Flame node removes your mana. You know what needs mana? Incinerate. Since you have Infernal Flame and not mana, you lock Incinerate. What is an Infernalist without using fire spell? This is so stupid, okay? And the worst part is, okay, I get this, okay. This is an oversight. Nobody plays Infernalist with this node and Incinerate combined. Okay, this is normal. But the real problem is when I want to use Infernalist demon form is I will not be doing any critical hits because we're using SS Drain and Contagion. These guys don't crit. And since they don't crit, we're not taking any damage, which means we won't be using any recoup, which means we're not getting uncapped demon form. And there's nothing else in the tree that's useful for us. So I did a lot of testing, and the demon form actually buffs our Incinerate and the Essence Drain and Contagion, and it's good, but it's so much work. And I've been doing this the whole campaign, using life flasks over and over and over again, and it's just too much work. Okay, it's not worth it. Like the damage is good, but as I said, it's not worth it. It would be really awesome if this actually worked with Incinerate. I planned this in like at 2 a.m. and just made a solo self-found character. I have nothing, absolutely nothing. I made a new character just to test this if it would work, and I got bottlenecked by the Infernal Flame, which is actually funny, because Infernalist not being able to use a fire spell is crazy. I know this ascendancy is more specific for minion stuff because of this and the spirit nodes and stuff. You got the hellhound thing, but this ruined the whole build. So I thought about using this helmet to inflict self damage and use Sacrosanctum for recoup. So we can pay for the demon form's life degeneration, and then we can get like HP and stuff. So we get shield. It was good on paper, but it got ruined by the Infernal Flame. Then if we do this, we won't be getting any meaningful energy shield at all on our build, and we will probably get absolutely slapped around at the end game. So we're going Lich. And before I go, I actually forgot. There's no changes to Incinerate, as I said, but the Vertex helmet is now gone, so we're not getting any +4 to all skills on our helmet. And the Blackflame ring actually got buffed. The change here doesn't do anything to our build. We will still be taking the Blackflame node over here. Instead of giving us 50% increased ignite magnitude, we're getting 80 to up to 100, which is like getting another ring. If you guys have any questions, let me down in the comments, okay? I'll be taking a look at them and answering everything I can. See you in the next one, and peace.